We all want compassion. We like getting compassion. We like having compassion. We like being around compassion. So doesn't it behoove us to be compassionate? Now, everybody's talking about compassion, compassion, compassion. We talk about so much. When we see Kuan Yin, we run. Now we'll talk about how to develop it. So, the first line of the 8 verses of mind transformation is, with the determination to accomplish the highest welfare for all sentient beings, who excel even a wish-granting gem, may I at all times hold them dear. This book, everyone should try to get a copy. It is new, it's fabulous. It is from one of my root gurus, written by the great exalted Kenshin Geshe Gensen Rinpoche, who is from Ganden Monastery. And what I'm teaching is embodied in this book. After the teaching, if you get it and study, it'll be very good. It's from Wisdom Publications in the United States, Boston. Wisdom Publications. The book is called Compassion, the Key to Great Awakening. The Key to Great Awakening, compassion. This everyone should try to get. Try to get this. So the first line, with the determination to accomplish the highest welfare for all sentient beings, who excel even a wish-granting gem, may I at all times hold them dear. First of the 8 lines. If we follow the Tibetan text, it says that sentient beings are far more important than a wish-granting gem. This is because our achievement of the peerless state of a great awakening enlightenment is dependent on sentient beings. It is said that if we watch the wish-granting gem 3 times, polish it 3 times, hang it on top of a huge banner, and ask for anything, it can provide all of our basic food, water, necessities. Yet sentient beings are far more precious because their existence enables us to achieve the state of great awakening. No such claim can be made of a wish-granting gem. The key point is that if there was no sentient beings, there would be no individual awakening. Without sentient beings, there is no compassion. Without compassion, there is no bodhicitta. And without bodhicitta, there is no great awakening. Therefore, we say that the kindness of sentient beings and the kindness of the Buddhas are equal. The kindness of sentient beings and the kindness of the Buddhas are equal. I will go back to that. We understand the kindness of the Buddha. We know that the Buddha is extremely kind, and we feel grateful to the Buddha because he is the source of all of our teachings, the method to free ourselves. He taught the means or techniques of attaining great awakening. Without these techniques, awakening would not be possible. As an example, even if someone gave us an excellent machinery to till the land for growing food, it would be of no use to us if we did not have any land. Similarly, the great Shantideva says in the text Bodhisattva Jairavattara that sentient beings and Buddha are equal in terms of our awakening. We are dependent on both these factors to become enlightened. I will get back to it. A Buddha and sentient beings. Similar, Shantideva states that we have tremendous respect for all the Buddhas, but we have none for sentient beings. What kind of thinking is that? If the sentient beings are equal in bringing us to enlightenment, how can we respect the Buddhas and not all sentient beings and hold them dear? Moreover, when we are trying to develop bodhicitta, it is the understanding that all sentient beings have been our mothers that serves as the foundation of bodhicitta. I will go on that point more tomorrow. Great compassion is the root of all great qualities and great achievements of the Mahayana practices. We develop great compassion in our mind by focusing on sentient beings. Since all of our immediate and ultimate happiness and prosperity originates from sentient beings, may we learn to hold them dear. It would be very helpful, especially for new students, to think about the kindness of other beings in our daily life. We need to think that all of our friends, enemies, and strangers are equally kind to us. If we think seriously, we can see that all food, clothing, and happiness that we have come directly or indirectly from other sentient beings. We manufacture hardly any of these things ourselves. For instance, when we were born, we had nothing but our naked bodies, and even that we owe to the kindness of our parents. In fact, we have to come into this world with nothing. Everything that we have now is due to the kindness of other sentient beings, directly and indirectly. Thus we may say, may I learn to hold them dear. We do not mean that we should hold their hands all the time, but rather we should understand their needs. We understand that what sentient beings need is happiness, and they detest suffering. Since we cherish them, we have to look for the means by which we can provide what they need and dispel what they dislike. That should be our personal responsibility. I ask you to do your own study. Imaginatively explore your own ideas. Read books, contemplate on the meaning, and do whatever you do to increase that understanding. So, with the first line, with determination to accomplish the highest wealth of all sentient beings who even excel a wish-granting gem, may I learn to hold them dear. A wish-granting gem can grant your wishes, material wishes. You wash it 3 times, polish it 3 times, like a magic genie, put it on a banner, make your wish, it is able to grant it. Yet, it cannot still grant you freedom. Sentient beings are even more precious. All sentient beings, everyone around you, enemies, friends, neutral people, are very important to you because it is in dependence on them you get enlightenment. How is that? How do you practice patience if you have no enemies? To develop patience, full stop. And what Buddhas is there with no patience? What Buddhas exist with no patience? So we need to have patience, and the only way we develop it is someone helping us to develop patience. That's an enemy. So an enemy is just as precious as someone that benefits us, because without them, how do we practice patience? To become a Buddha with patience, there is the definition of a Buddha. One of them is that he has patience. So if we become a Buddha with no patience, we hate enemies, and we're a Buddha, I don't think we'll end up on the altar. So think. So we need to practice generosity. Who do we give things to? The trees? Waterfalls? Mountains? I offer this gold to you, mountain. Throw it. It is sentient beings. They are very kind to allow us to help them. That we are able to practice the paramita of dana, giving. If we want to go one step higher, to our Dharma brothers and sisters, giving, helping, to the Dharma institutions, to the Sangha, and if possible, if we have one, our Root Guru. It is their kindness that allows us to collect the paramita of giving. Every Buddha has tremendous spiritual and unlimited, unexhaustible wealth from giving. And where did that come from? Giving, where did that come from? Giving to sentient beings. So in order to develop wealth, in order to develop karma, to even be rich in your next life, it is dependent on others. So when you are so dependent on others, how can we not respect others? They give us an opportunity to give. Likewise, enthusiasm, perseverance. We want to become a Buddha, so we must love every single sentient being that exists in the 6 realms. If, let's say, there's 5 billion sentient beings in this world, we love 4,999,999, and we don't love one for any reasons, guess what? You still cannot become a Buddha. How can a Buddha love everyone except her, except him? I love everyone. I love every single sentient being except that one. Think about it. So your actual enlightenment is dependent on every single sentient being. And your mood, akasa, and your attitude and motive toward them. So they are very kind to exist to let you develop this. So if we show bad face, black face, bad talk, gossip, negativity, and shout and scream and hurt and abuse others, we don't realize how precious they are. They are just as precious as the Buddhas, equal to says in Bodhisattva Charavattara by Shantideva. They are equally important. So you think you can pray, kowtow, make offerings to the Buddha and the 3 jewels, your Guru and Sangha, turn around and abuse other sentient beings and get enlightened? You're in some weird cult because that's not what the Buddha taught. So we've all been guilty, including myself, of following this weird cult. In front of the Buddha, we kowtow, we prostrate, we have tears, we turn around, someone bothers us, hey! We've done that over and over and over. So we belong to this weird offshoot of a Buddhism, some weird Buddhist cult. We can call ourselves BCs. Think about it. The Buddhas are important because we need teachings, we need their blessings, we need their inspiration, we need their guidance, we need the 3 jewels. We need them 50%. And in order to fulfill what they have taught us, where is the object to act out what they have taught us? That's right, sentient beings. That's right, all sentient beings. Neutral ones, hated ones and loved ones. And the very fact you have hated ones and neutral ones in your vocabulary shows you are not practicing Dharma. Think. It's also interconnected and so logical. So how can we just prostrate to the Buddhas, prostrate to the Sangha, prostrate to our Guru, to our altars, and not show equal reverent respect to everybody else? Of course you don't have to run around with lotus candles and light one to everybody you meet and say, I respect you and pray to you. Of course you don't have to go that fanatical. The point, the issue here is to have a sincere respect for other sentient beings. That includes your wife that gets on your nerves, that nags. That includes your husband that gets on your nerves, that comes home from work at 11 o'clock. That includes your kids that don't stop shouting and screaming nonstop. That includes loving the guru that shouts at you. Yeah, that includes me, don't forget. That includes me too. And I reiterate that. So you've got to love me to become enlightened. So there you go. So you've got to love everyone. Everything. So we have to start somewhere. We should start with our gurus. We should start with our wives. We should start with our husbands. Have we been mistreating our wives? Have we been talking wrongly to our mates? Have we been mistreating our husband and talking wrongly to our husband, to our friends, to our relatives? Have we? If we have, I don't think we're making progress here. And if we're not making progress, we're going to suffer. Of course, there are certain people that really get on our nerves. We don't have to jump in bed and hug them and kiss and say, I love you. We don't have to, every corner, grab them and kiss them and say, I love you, and hold your hands 24 hours and say, look, Guru, I'm practicing compassion. We don't have to do that. The point is, let them be the way they are, but don't hate them. You may avoid them for now, with the reason that you are not fully developed. Until you become developed, you don't have any hate, but you want to protect yourself for now. But that cannot go on forever. For the next 500 lives, I hate them, I want to protect myself, I stay away. So we've got to love all sentient beings to become enlightened. If we don't, how do we become enlightened? Impossible. Impossible. 50% on sentient beings. So we should start today, now, this moment, to start loving our wives. Start loving our husbands, start loving our children, our relatives, our parents, our aunts and uncles, Sangha members, our gurus, people that are neutral to us, people we just meet, and especially enemies. We should start. Stop kowtowing to the Buddhas, because that's just 50% of the game. If you kowtow to them, it means you will follow what they're saying. You kowtow because you respect what they are, what they represent, what they teach you. Therefore, you kowtow. So if you kowtow and you turn around and do the opposite, you should get a Grammy Award for your great acting. And we all should get a Grammy Award because we're the greatest actors on earth. All of us, think about it. It sounds funny, but it's true. That's why it's funny. So we have to respect everyone. We have to respect everything. We have to respect everyone. And we must start with the people that are most easiest to us. With all due respect, again, to your gurus, to the Sangha, to your Dharma brothers and sisters, in which you have the same teachers with, to fellow Dharma practitioners, to other religious practitioners, to neutral, to enemies. Without that deep respect, 50% of your practice is not there. So a table cannot stand with 2 legs. You need the other 50. It needs 4 to stand. Okay, you want to be smart, it needs 3 to stand on some tables. So we take 1.5 away, it cannot stand. Some people think, well, there are tables that have 3 legs. Okay, 3 legs, 1.5 gone. So think about it. We need to start practicing this, the first statement. If we practice this sheet alone, we can gain enlightenment. No joke. If we practice this alone, without initiations, without altars, without deities, without nothing. If we practice this from our heart, if we practice the first line and put it into real practice, many of our sufferings will stop. With the determination of accomplishing the highest wealth for all sentient beings who excel even a wish-granting gem, may I learn to hold them dear. Whenever I associate with others, when I think myself the humblest among all and hold others free from the depth of my heart. First line, with the determination to accomplish the highest welfare. What's that? With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare. What's the highest welfare for all sentient beings? When you become a Buddha. So with the determination of becoming a Buddha, therefore, all sentient beings are greater than a wish-fulfilling gem, and may I at all times hold them dear. If we had problems, we should apologize. If we have difficulties, we should make up. And we should see the root of the problem and stop it from our side. Whether the other person stops it or not, never mind. That's not your problem. When you die alone. When you go alone. When you make karma alone. So we should respect our teachers, we respect the Sangha, we should respect our wives, our husbands, our mates, everything. We should start now. Without them, we can't become enlightened. I love everybody except my wife. Today. I love everybody except my husband. Today. You ain't becoming a Buddha. Far from it. Think it's logical. So please, practice that first line. That first line has such deep meaning. Let's become real Dharma practitioners. We've received the first line, let's put it into action, let's make it stable, and let's make it constant. And let's support it and make it constant and stable by making offerings to the 3 jewels, prostrations, meditations, our meditational deities, mantras, etc., etc.